had 50 and 40 disposals, so he's very elite at just finding it.
He's on screen as well for the Vic Metro side is Lennox Hoffman, who is heading into defence as well. So South Australia, this is their final game of their championships. They've won one of their 3 games so far. Vic Metro 2-0, hoping to keep their undefeated record intact. It is South Australia and Vic Metro Marsh National Under-18 Championships continuing from Alberton Oval. Here's Joel Peterson.
They're hoping to go out with a bang, and the big man in the ruck for the Crow Eaters has been so impressive. Dodson gets first hands on it here. Straight away to Draper. Inside forward 50 from Ben Camporeale. So the big gun standing up. Barrett with an early chance. What a start that is for SA.
And that's a typical small forwards goal, isn't it? Front and square, pretty simple. Don't fumble it. Know where the goals are before you actually get in position to grab the crumb. And that's Benny Barrett. Interesting story. Look, everyone's got their own unique story, but Mum and Dad come from PNG, moved across into Darwin, then down into Adelaide. He's been a very good player at South Adelaide, this young fella. He's NGA to Port, so they'll be having a particular look at him. That's a wonderful start for him, and great work from Draper out of the centre too. Watch him closely today, the captain of SA.
3 disposals, 1 goal, all within less than a minute. That is the ideal beginning to this game for South Australia, and Sid Draper got them underway. Kick across there from Ashcroft, only as far as Lucas Camporeale though for South Australia. They win the ball at ground level again. Kicked forward by Herbert, straight to Newen. It was touched off the boot, so play on is called. Rush kick comes out. Up went Ludowick. In fact, it was on that occasion, it was Emmett, in fact, who won it back for Vic Metro. Series of handballs. Comes out here to Oliver, who's normally cool and composed on the left boot. Towards the wing position. Lots of hands on that ball. Mark not paid on that occasion. Emmett did have hands to the footy as well, along with Charlie Nichols. And he is able to force the ball up here. Nichols, normally a forward. You noted looking at the teams warming up pre-game that Nichols is playing as a defender to start this game. So we'll watch that with ample interest. South Australia bring it out towards the half-forward flank. Marked here by Herbert. Waste no time. Early touches for Draper. Sweeps the hand pass over the top to Ben Camporeale. Turned it over. Grego. Smith. Evasive there, but unfortunately gave it straight to Draper. The handball out wide to Roan Burgoyne. Dodson running out of teammates though, and Vic Metro win the ball back in the middle.
Reid, now Ashcroft. He can set something up. The layup kick inside the forward 50. Couple of targets there. Flying forward, Sims couldn't take it. They've got representation at ground level, and very good representation in Isaac Kako.
Well, what a wonderful pair of small forward goals. Again, Isaac Kako in the perfect spot for the small forward and was clean as a whistle. He's going to be a player, this boy. He's at NGA to Essendon. His parents an unusual background, but both from Iraq, and this boy has been playing footy all his life, and he's a hard worker up the ground. He can push up and play through the midfield. He's got a wonderful evasive step as well, and that's a great start for he.
He's got a nice bag of tricks too, hasn't he, Shifter? We saw one of those in that first game against the Allies, Benny, when he kicked a terrific goal. He's a real prospect. He's fun to watch.
It's his 4th goal of the championship so far, and interestingly, he's had 30 disposals across his 3 games so far. 17 have ended up in Vic Metro scores. So he's an impact player, to say the least. Back in the middle here, Ben Camporeale laying the tackle. Sharp comes through, wrapped up by Anderson with a crunching tackle and an illegal tackle in the end. Lingered a bit too long, and Sharp is awarded the free.
Not a hair in that contest.
Handball comes out. Some run here from Clark. Sends it inside 50 and in front. Excellent mark from Hoffman. One for Saints fans to keep an eye on. St Kilda Next Generation Academy member. Hoping for Totoli. Thumped over the boundary line and out of bounds. As we are going to see a free kick here. It was a free kick going the way of Totoli, just for some illegal contact late.
Wasn't hugely clever from Angus Clark. Totoli is such a beautiful user of the footy. Kicks long down the line. Flying in was Armstrong. Out the back, kick forward by Smiley. He's got an option inside forward 50. Some contact on Reid, and he'll be paid the free. So Reid's 45 from home. Free going against Jacob Sheehan, the South Adelaide captain, who's had an impressive championships. Murphy Reid get plenty of the footy as well, Shifter.
Yeah, he's averaging 24 across the couple of games to date, so he'll push up through the midfield, one of this very talented midfield group, but also can be dangerous when playing forward. Terrific kick normally.
He lays into this one, leaves it a bit left.
Ooh.
Big fly, and it's brought straight down to Kako, who threw it on the boot and missed away to the right.
On goal one for Isaac Kako, lurking dangerously at ground level again. Ben Camporeale with the ball in the back pocket. Remember, 25-minute flat quarters in the National Under-18 Championships. Here's Rome Burgoyne, another Port Adelaide father-son, another Burgoyne coming through the ranks as well. Good to see Jace Burgoyne, his older brother, having a bit of a breakout season for the Power at AFL level this year. Hargrave along the wing, thumped away from him. The ball goes over the line and out of bounds. And time to welcome our fourth member of our commentary team. Downstairs is Megan Waters. Hello, Megan.
Good morning, team. As you said, what a glorious day it is here down in Ghana country. The scenes are certainly set. It's about 9 degrees currently, but as the sun is peeking through, we're expecting it to hit about 12 degrees, so it is starting to heat up. I did take a bit of a walk around the ground, and as you can see, it is still a little bit slippy conditions out there as it stands. But look, the scenes are certainly set for a great game, and I'm very excited to witness the future of AFL football talent out here today, guys.
There's plenty of stars on show. Thanks, Megan. Forward to checking in with you throughout the call. Cole sockers it, trying to put Metro back inside forward 50. Anderson crashes through. He goes at the footy hard. They call him the Beast of the East, and it's not hard to see why in the early stages. Handball out wide from Lennox Hoffman goes a miss. They're ready to ring the interchanges downstairs. Dyson Sharp coming off for a rest. Very talented bottom ager. So I'll have a boundary throw in. As Megan told us, a cool morning. Lots of rain here in Adelaide yesterday, so you can see in the middle of the ground it's pretty soft underfoot. But clear skies this morning here at Alberton. Big day for the true believers in this part of the world as well, with Port Adelaide and St Kilda to come this afternoon on Fox Footy as soon as we're done here. Kako at half forward. He's run down, but he got one in the back. It's a free kick going against Bowman. Kako can set another attack up for Metro.
Congested forward line. He'll try and pick out a target. Flying in front. An excellent mark has been taken by Tom Sims, who's coming off a real confidence-boosting performance last week, Shifter, against Western Australia.
Yeah, and it was only about a month ago, kicked 7 again in a game against Oakley, so he's a real goal kicker. Could have got a bag last week, missed a couple, but kicked the 3 goals. Very powerful 199-centimetre boy from out at the Northern Knights. Antti Rocker, of course, the coach out there, would have been giving him some very strong indications on how to use your body as a key forward, and he does that very well.
One of the best key position prospects in this draft class. His kick is off to the right and thumped through for a behind. So Big Metro with an early 2-point advantage here at Alberton Oval, and Angus Clark will bring it out.
Been impressive. His stock's risen over the championships to Burgoyne with the patented Burgoyne socks up. Clark with the dash out of defence. Looks into the centre for Montgomery. Son of Port Adelaide Premiership player and best and fairest Brett, who was here last night with the Giants, who went down to the Crows. Of course, an assistant coach with GWS these days. Dodson taking it, tackled, just got boot to ball. Now a chance for Barrett. Gets onto that left boot, drops it inside the 50. Good mark. Great mark from Oliver. Juggled it to himself. Swings onto that left. Immediately hits up a teammate in Gross on the outer side.
His kicking has been a real highlight of the championship so far for Vic Metro, Harrison Oliver. I reckon he's right up there in first round calculations. Armstrong got it out. Now Anderson sweeps the hand pass to Moraes, just stripped by South Australia, and they can win the ball back. Little kick came out though, but it's picked off by Emmett. Now a hand pass, working out wide. Vic Metro deep inside 50. Smiley caught behind. The ball trickles over the line. Still inside that Vic Metro forward 50 though, and after a slow start, or an explosive start by South Australia, and Vic Metro conceding the first goal in a minute, it is now Vic Metro in inside their forward 50. Megan Waters is downstairs.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm just having a little bit of a look over at the bench at the moment, and it looks like Tate Delmenico is just he's holding his right temple at the moment, and they've got the docs sort of assessing him. It looks like they might be doing a bit of a concussion test, so just one to watch out for.
Thanks, Megan. He's been excellent for South Australia as a defender so far in this championship, so they'll be hoping that he's okay. In the meantime, South Australia bringing it out from defence. Ben Camporeale to Lucas Camporeale, and they can rebound.
They find each other well. The twins over the top to Burgoyne. Mix up down the line with Herbert. There's his footy down the road at Woodville West Torrens.
And Kate Herbert's won with a fair bit of senior experience. He's had about 8 games at senior level here at Woodville.
He started the season in the league with the Eagles. Nice build up here from SA. Draper just slipped at the critical moment. Got the handball away, but it's all navy blue jumpers. Hollow, he's tackled, dispossessed. Umpire waves play on. Sharp now. Hooking it around the body is Herbert. High kick inside the 50. Welsh stretches, can't mark. Brilliant pickup from Bowman. What a snap and what a finish.
Well, he took his opportunity in the second half of the last game. Kicked 3 goals in an impressive performance. We'd heard about his aerial ability. He took one of the marks of the year at club level earlier in the season, but it was his prowess around the goals that caught our eye last game. And that's a terrific finish again. So he's got some real special talent, as you see from that kick.
Vic Metro thought it was touched, but the goal is paid to Ned Bowman. That was a pretty special effort in one motion to crumb and snap while turning. And South Australia get back the lead, and they lead by 4 points. Ned Bowman with his 4th goal of the championship so far. South Australia with more of the ball so far, and the Lucas Camporeale picking up from where he left off a couple of weeks ago against WA with a equal team high 5 disposal. Smith gets the clearance though, feeds it out to Hollow. His kick was smothered though. Arriving with some pace though was Oliver. That was an impressive pickup. Smith providing an option. Excellent spin. Almost went back into traffic. Handball it to Hollow as a thumping kick. Unloads from 55 to the top of the goal square. It's just wide of his teammate McKenzie. He still gathers though, McKenzie. He slipped at the wrong time and he's caught holding the ball. And South Australia breathe a sigh of relief deep in their defence.
That they do. It was clean from Jagger Smith at half forward though. That was a great bit of play, Shifter. Here's West. Down the line, spearing kick for Atkinson, one of the ins for South Australia. Son of Magarey medalist and Sturt premiership player Brodie. Big fly down the line from Montgomery coming over the back. He can't mark. Metro there to mop up. Newen inside the back 50. Trainor's kick knocked down. Barrett picks it off right on the edge of the arc. Drops it into the bucket for Welsh, who's charging across the 50 and accepts it to his chest.
Well, Tyler Welsh, he just had the one quiet game that was last game. And you give a, well, I call him a 191 medium forward at that height, about the 6'3" mark. So a big-bodied player that really can set the forward line alight with the way he plays. And been a very good player in every other representative game he's played. Just quiet last game.
His kicking wasn't great last time we were here, Shifter, a couple of weeks ago. And he's just grazed the post with that one. That's a bad miss.
Yeah, he had kicked 14 goals in 5 matches for SA's under-18s. That includes a bag of 4 against Vic Country last year. So, important player for them in the context of their chances of winning today.
Kick out here from Traynor. Was hoping for Hollow, but excellent attack there from Bowman. Keeps it alive for South Australia. Ben Camporeale got it to Hargrave. And now an opportunity for Welsh to make amends. Kick round the body, doesn't have enough curl. Levi Ashcroft got there back on the last line of defence to intercept. They can repel here from their back 50. Sharp, though, gets in the way. Able to spoil the ball away from Moraes. Sharp tackles Moraes, hoping for holding the ball, doesn't quite get there. He tossed back up. Just over 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter at Alberton Oval. Good start for South Australia. Will be coming as the underdogs. Huge thump forward out of the ruck stoppage. Tackle applied there by Grego. Umpire called play on Ewan. Elusive. Didn't get boot to ball. Umpire called play on again. Cole wraps it up. And Vic Metro might have got away with a couple there. Nonetheless, it'll be still in a dangerous spot here for the Metro defence.
Much better start for SA after they conceded 6 in the opening term against WA a couple of weeks ago. King from the stoppage. Nice work. Chained it out pretty effectively. Gross has kicked down the line. He's looking for Detoli. He can't keep it in.
So whatever Tony Bamford has said to them or done with them in recent days and lead up to today has worked. They come out smart, didn't they, right at the start of the game. First contest, the first centre clearance,
they got
the first goal on the board.
They got whacked in the middle last time, Shifter, and it was the 3 big guns. I mean, that immediately first bounce, it was Dodson to Draper to Camporeale inside the 50. It's been a much more energised performance from SA. Chain it forward again here. Sturzel, he got it from Ben Camporeale. They've turned it over, though. Kick across the centre of the ground was a really good one. Lands in the lap of Harry Armstrong. Came from Smiley. Kicks up toward half forward, and the stretch and the pluck now from Ludowick. The lefty pops it into the pocket. McKenzie makes a run at it. South Australia's defence holds up. Hastings back to Clark. Exiting kicks, not a great one. Marked by Gross. He's got options. Elected not to move it swiftly. Going to roll around onto his right boot. Try his luck. Leaves it wide. Mark taken by Detoli. You know that this man's got some real tricks. Beautiful user of the ball. He's bobbed up for a couple of goals already in this championships. Should have no issues with the finish. And with a player of his class, he does exactly that and puts Metro back in front.
Well, we use in the recruiting sense the term weapons. You know, what are your assets? What are you really good at? Well, this boy is noted for his elite kicking at right and left. In other words, he's a converter. When he gets the opportunity up forward, he converts, but also noted for his overhead marking. He can slip under your guard. He's a 178, so he's a small forward, but quite strong. Reaches high, one grab up, brave in the air as well. And so very dangerous opponent when he gets to a one-on-one situation as a forward.
1 goal in each of his 3 championships games so far. Jesse Detoli, all 4 goals in this game so far coming via small forwards. One to Bowman and Barrett for South Australia, Kako and now Detoli for Vic Metro. That bounce will be recalled. Keep your eyes on the South Australian ruck. We've already mentioned him off the top. Alex Dodson is coming with a rush in this draft class this year. The number 40 for South Australia. Very talented basketballer. My word, can he play football? He's in the ruck here against Sims. Sharp applies the tackle, a well-executed tackle. No prize called there on Sims, so secondary ball up in the middle. Dodson goes to work against Sims. Good tap there from Sims. Sharp trying to run onto it for South Australia. Dodson following up at ground level. Another stoppage.
Well, if you look at the Max Gorns or the Brady Grundys, you want to ruck with them, not only get the hit-outs and influence the stoppage, but win the ball around the ground, be another ruck rover with their ability to find the footy. Dodson's done that, averaging 20 disposals, as well as 20 hit-outs in his games to date.
There he is, Dodson, kicking the ball forward. That's what he does so well as a ruck, his inside 50 ability. Barrett has been so lively at ground level, couldn't quite run onto it there. And Vic Metro able to bring it out here through King. Pinpoint pass to Moraes. He's got an option in the middle. Sims has run forward here after the ruck contest.
Oh.
Barrett, what a pickup.
Brilliant.
Electric from Benny Barrett. Goes into the middle. It's plucked nicely here by Sturzel. South Australia playing with ample intensity in this quarter, taking it right up to the favourites here. Lovely sidestep from Hastings. Has an option out wide in Herbert. He goes inside 50. Options are plenty. Pinpoint pass. Sharp marks. And can have a look at the goals to put South Australia back in front.
We've profiled this boy before as a bottom-age player, but I love many things about the way he plays. One is his attack on the footy. He has got, I call it the X-ray eyes, where anything in his vision doesn't worry about it. He's looking straight at that footy and will go straight at it and take whatever's in the path and to win the ball, and being a prolific ball winner at every level, at club level, at state level. as well as in these early games of the championships at under 18 level as a bottom.
Only recently turned 17. Dyson Sharp, he's one to watch for next year's draft, but he's making an impact in the present. And it's goal for goal here at Alberton Oval between South Australia and Vic Metro. Sharp has another goal and won the Kevin Sheehan medal last year, Kevin Sheehan. And he's playing such great footy, consistent footy for a bottom ager at National Under-18 Championships level.
And just having a look at the leading stats winners, the Camporeale boys, Ben with 7, Lucas with 6 are the leaders for SA. Kane Herbert with 6, Clark down back with 6 as well. And no surprise, Jagger Smith with 6 disposals, and Ashcroft with 5 are the leading disposal winners for Vic Metro.
He knows where they are, Dyson Sharp. Kicked 48 goals as a 14-year-old a couple of years ago for Barossa Districts. Kid from Williamstown in beautiful Barossa region. 45 minutes an hour away from where we are here at Alberton. Gross now for Metro. Inside 50. Gee, that's an impressive mark. Really great stuff from Moraes. Good set of hands. Another talented multi-sport athlete. Very good basketballer. Here's the layup kick. What's he got on the end of it? Big fly over the top. Reaching was Ludowick. Through the traffic and worked out really well. Running into the open goal is Murphy Reid. The kick from Anderson found him in stride, and Metro back in front again.
Yeah, that's great play from Cody Anderson, the contested win of the ball in there, and the presence of mind to just get it forward. Rely on a teammate being there, and of course Murphy was, but just quick thinking, get it forward, don't over finesse it, as Tommy Havey used to say, and a good finish by Murphy Reid.
Had a really impressive first couple of games, Murphy Reid for Vic Metro, such a smooth mover as well. He'll be right up in first round calculations this year as well. One of several Sandringham Dragons prospects. Ball back in the middle. Here's another one. Ashcroft trying to run onto it there, but Dodson pinched it. Swept the hand pass over the top. Quick hands from Barrett to Sharp, who wasn't quick enough to get boot to ball. Brought down by Ashcroft. Goes wide to Johnson. His second game of the championships. Gross towards the wing, over the head of Kako, and with authority, thumped over the line there by Hastings. I might get a run on bounce a little bit later tonight. It's part of the Golden Fist segment. A big day on Fox Footy. 3 games across a couple of channels, and then first crack and bounce a little bit later on tonight.
Trying to punch it up to us here in the grandstand at Alberton Oval. Beautiful historic grandstand. Real soul to this place. Coming and watching footy here. Emmett for Vic Metro. Sharp pinched it off him. Gave it straight to Reid. Last goal kicker in this game. As Benny said earlier, it's been goal for goal the whole way through. We've had 5 lead changes in this opening term. South Australia handily beaten by WA last time out. Vic Metro handily beating WA in their last time out last week. The form line said Metro would have come in as a heavy favourite, but South Australia holding their own early doors. Dodson with a free kick in ruck. Up to half forward. Herbert presents. They can't keep it in, but they've got a chance in the dying moments of this first term. The Crow Eaters, especially from where they came, it's been an impressive start. Kate Herbert's had 6 possessions. Ben Camporeale's had 7, and big Alex Dodson, who the big watch is on Benny. He's the equal leading disposal winner on the ground as well.
Not in this ruck contest for South Australia. It's West doing the ruck work on this occasion. Ben Camporeale with another disposal. Sharp had no prior, no room to move there. He's wrapped up. Just over a minute left in this first quarter. 25-minute flat quarters across the Under-18 Championships. Holding free kick by the non-controlling umpire on that occasion. It's going to be coming all the way to the edge of the arc here. And we'll go the way of Dyson Sharp. And he wastes no time, sees an option short. Must have just been the 15 metres. Phoenix Hargrave says, thanks, I'll have a set shot. from directly in front. We'll have about the 45 metres to cover. But this would be a lovely way for South Australia to cap off an impressive first quarter. Phoenix Hargrave, impressive game against Western Australia in his team's last national champs game for the 27 touches. Over 519 metres gained, just off to the right on that occasion and through for a minor score. So unless there's a big clanger here from this kick, in the sense that we'll be going in even Stevens. We will be going in even Stevens. 3-2-20 apiece at quarter time here at Alberton Oval. A massive day coming up. It's been goal for goal across the opening quarter here at Alberton Oval. And it almost feels fitting that it's 3-2-20 apiece at the first change. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Joel Peterson and Kevin Sheehan. And Shifter, we saw a goal each there to two NGA prospects. Firstly, Benny Barrett, who's linked to Port Adelaide, and then Isaac Kako of Essendon as well. It's fantastic, I suppose, some of the stories that a lot of aspiring AFL players have, and they're really shining on the big stage.
Yes, and we mentioned that Kako's parents come from Iraq, which is fantastic. And then, of course, Jaden Ewan, his parents are from Vietnam. And if you toss in big Cole as well, it's Adrian Cole. Well, Dad was born in Nigeria, so we've got our version of the world game is the multicultural Australia, as we know. People coming from all around the world are choosing to play our game and now starting to emerge in our talent program, which is fantastic for the game.
Young Lennox Hoffman, of course, part of that St Kilda Academy, born in Switzerland.
Amazing as well.
So there's some real diversity out there this morning. Yeah, treated to a really great start. Again, South Australia. Here is Barrett. Electric stuff out of the stoppage. Dodson got it down to Sharp, to Hargrave, to Barrett, to full forward. Welsh got upstairs, couldn't take the mark. Bowman, the roving, fed it out to Newton, who couldn't finish. He's had a good championships though, Jacob Newton. Played a lot of his footy as an inside mid. They needed to see another position from him, and he's been hitting the scoreboard with regularity, Shifter.
Yeah, multiple goals against WA. Kicked a couple there and 3 against Vic Country. And yeah, been a surprise packet from normally playing midfield, averaging 23 disposals as a midfielder at Norwood. But has been able to adapt, and it's what good young players can do, take on the new role and be successful at it. And he's done that as the small forward.
Big contest there involving Draper. Vic Metro looked to bring it away. Gross able to shrug the tackle, and rebound here for Vic Metro. That's excellent precision and composure there. Reed got it to Oliver. They work it along the wing now. Vic Metro up high. Excellent mark from McKenzie. Waste no time, but Ashcroft was immediately put under the pump. Good tackle applied there by Clark. Kako, excellent, clean pick-up at ground level. Kicks it high towards the top of the goal square. Which way will it bounce? Perfectly into the lap of Sims, who snaps it and goals it to give Vic Metro the first goal of the second quarter.
A fantastic team goal, wasn't it, to Ashcroft with his work, but then Kako, he's got speed to burn, you'd call that, but I love his awareness and his unselfish play, his team orientation here as he sets it up. And Sims, for a boy of 199, his agility, his work at ground level, that's a smart goal for a boy of that size. You know, you're thinking about projecting 2 years on as to what that boy might be able to do. He's just emerged this year, unheard of really last year, and has been one of the great success stories of the Coates Talent League this year.
So a 6th lead change of the game, and Tom Sims, 3 goals, 3 last week against WA. He's making a name for himself at the moment. Emmett got dragged down in the centre of the ground. Phoenix Hargrave, prolific ball winner, under 18 best and fairest in the SANFL last season. Herbert with a long kick inside the forward 50. Big fly from Montgomery, who's stationed up there at the moment. Newton goes to ground, so adept in these tight situations.
And Montgomery's a versatile type. We mentioned Brett, of course, was a fantastic player at AFL level and a very accomplished coach. But this boy can play midfield, forward or back. And I love his work, and he's a strong-bodied player that is strong in the air and a great user as well.
He's doing the ruck work at the moment, is Louis Montgomery. So you talk about his versatility. He's making Emmett work for it. Right now, South Australia inside forward 50. Welsh freed the arms. Newen's camped over the top of it. Another stoppage inside the arc for the Crow Eaters.
Emmett and Montgomery go at it again. Sharp trying to explode through. Held the ball a long time. Swept the hand pass out. Hargrave stepped into traffic but won himself a free kick. Had an excellent championship so far. Phoenix Hargrave, a consistent sample under-18s campaign.
And Montgomery into the ruck as an example is Tony Bamford and his match committee say, well, let's toss a few things around. We'll put Nichols back. We'll use as a second ruck someone like Montgomery that can jump and compete and will win the ball around the ground. So just mixed it up a little bit. That can have a difference, you know, to the psyche of the group. And they've come out with a hell of a different attitude today. And
Hargrave missed one earlier in the first quarter, and he's missed again. But he's a goal kicker. He's kicked 13 goals from 8 Sandford under-18 games this season. Peppering again South Australia. They trail by 4 points.
He's one that probably set league level later this year, Phoenix Hargrave. His build and his ball-winning ability. It's the next progression for a lot of these South Australian players. Hoffman's kick in field. Finds Reid. Goal in that opening term for Murphy Reid. Shares it nicely here with Moraes. Best Vic Metro crops in recent years. One recruiter I was speaking to pre-game said probably the best that he's seen. So there is so much talent out there for Metro, and South Australia making them earn it at the moment. Great mark from Angus Clark, the boy from Mount Gambier, into the centre of the ground. Bashed away from Ben Camporeale. Kako puts it inside the forward 50. It's a great kick. And the mark taken by McKenzie. They'll have a shot of just under 50 metres.
And McKenzie first come on the radar against the Giants. They played against the Giants Academy, kicked 7.
23 disposals and 13 marks with his 7.
I didn't see it live, but I went to the tape as soon as I seen the numbers, and he had a marvellous game that game.
Would have made for good watching. So we know he can finish off. That one's coming back from right to left, but not enough.
A good setup from Kako then, just to use the outside of the boot. Players are brilliant at that these days. Sometimes are more proficient on the outside of their right foot than using their left, and put it perfectly there for McKenzie.
Clark took 40 metres out of the defensive goal square there on the kick out, and it's worked all the way in towards the middle of Alberton Oval. Beautiful day for National Under-18 Championships action. Beautiful hand pass out there from Sharp. Draper working with Camporeale. Now it comes out wide to Hastings. Weighted the ball superbly. And Lucas Camporeale took a strong mark. Lots of numbers ahead of him though, so kick has to be precise, and it is. To the lead of West. Ample Vic Metro numbers back. Sharp is caught behind, but he's still good enough to take the mark. Played on immediately, was tackled as he was kicked rather. So Gross gracefully wins it back though. Now it's pounced on by Bradley. Outside of the boot, Traynor was disguised it well in the end and able to guide it through for a behind. A rush behind that is for South Australia, but Luke Traynor, shifter, is one of the top key position prospects in this year's draft class.
And that's one of the reasons why, just with the kick in then, that was a magnificent kick, wasn't it? A 35, 40-metre kick in. His rebound work is fantastic. As an athletic 194, he hits the ground running and is very, very strong overhead as well.
North Melbourne supporter growing up, Luke Traynor. There'd be a lot of North Melbourne supporters that mind seeing him in the Royal Blue and White in years to come. Smith gave it to Reid. Metro inside the 50. Kako lunging.
Gee, speed was impressive then, that last step where he was able to get from probably next to his opponent to nearly a metre in front. It was absolute power and speed off the mark.
From the Northern Saints, Faulkner in Melbourne's northern suburbs. He had King just cruising past, maybe looking for a handball. Kako wants to go himself. Ends up just chipping it to an unmarked McKenzie, who brought it down beautifully for Reid. Just can't finish. Gee, it was all set up there for Vic Metro, and another opportunity goes begging.
Well, he disguised that brilliantly, Kako, didn't he? Looked as if he's definitely having a shot for goal and had the intention of trying to hit his teammate.
West up high, excellent mark and waste no time. Trying to get South Australia into some space. Excellent gather from Montgomery. Ben Camporeale steps inside. Welsh is deep inside 15. Dodson, it is in fact. Strong mark from Dodson. And if you can add a goal kicker to his bag of tricks, that's going to raise the eyebrows of even more recruiters.
And this is the boy with the choice that we talked about last game, the choice of pursuing basketball, potentially a college offer in the United States, or an offer to nominate for the draft, and it'd be certain to be taken and pursue an AFL career. And it's the battle for talent, if you like. It's
got a really good look at this one.
Wow.
He kicks it perfectly. This is a play to watch. Alex Dodson kicks the goal and puts South Australia back in front as we head downstairs to Megan Waters.
Yeah, guys, great contest so far, but a bit of an update. Cody Anderson, he hopped off just before the siren sounded, and looking over at him now, I've got a good vision of him on the bench. His right ankle is iced up, and they've done a little bit of testing. They popped his boot back on, but yeah, looks like he might be sitting this one out because it's quite heavily iced at this point.
Thanks, Megan. Not good news for young Cody Anderson, the beast from the east out of Healesville, but very good news for this man, Alex Dodson, shifter.
Well, it wasn't a three-pointer, it was a six-pointer in the finish for the basketballer. Adds that other dimension that we talked of. He can get forward as a boy 203 and kick goals, and his technique, his kicking technique is good. It's quite natural, but his ball-winning ability around the ground is exceptional for a boy of that size.
Not a really strong year at his position either, so that also works in his favour. Draper out of the middle to Hargrave, to West, to Herbert. They are lining up at the moment for South Australia. Camporeale off to Bradley, eyes the sticks across the face. They're there in the goal square. They had the representation, but it's off hands and into the behind post. It'll be a throw in. But this has been a much improved performance from South Australia, playing their final game of the championships. Of course, Vic Metro have still got Vic Country to come in a couple of weeks' time. A game that looks like it'll decide things, as Cody Anderson sitting on the bench, as Megan told us, casting a rather forlorn figure at the moment. Hope he can get back out there. Barrett, Atkinson for the Crow Eaters. Arias comes up with it. Hands off to Grego. Now to Hollow. And Metro can build down the outer side.
That's an excellent kick to Detoli. Good build-up from Vic Metro, but South Australia have done well to get numbers back. Ashcroft coming up for disposal number 9. The Lions' father-son gun. Kicks it high towards a big pack. McKenzie flew high. In front, though, Armstrong plucked it. He's a left footer. He'll want to wheel onto that natural left. He thought about passing it off, but now Ray Armstrong, another Sandringham Dragons prospect, will have a look at the goals.
And had a kick from about this distance a few weeks back to win the game. The scores were equal and kicked it. He's a magnificent long kick. Ball from Hailbury College, influenced a bit by Matty Lloyd out there, the coach, who's got certainly a terrific opinion of the potential of this young fella.
4 goals in his last Talent League game against Oakley. That is a thumping left foot kick. Gosh, that had the distance. Didn't have the accuracy. We're all tied up again at Alberton Oval.
Big roost from Armstrong. Clark brings it in. Put themselves in a little bit of a phone box here, Nichols and Clark, but worked it out. Montgomery took 3 contested marks last time out. He continues to show his aerial prowess. Only 184, Louis Montgomery, but he's got plenty of go and plenty of dash about him, just as Dad Brett did. Welsh, the target of the kick down the line. Some high contact. Newton will take it from Alliston. Way down past Port Lincoln on the west coast, inside 50. G. Dodson almost. The pressure is there from South Australia. Vic Metro equal to the task. They are. Grego and Ashcroft combine. Slips through the hands of Sharp for South Australia. Ludovic had a play at it, gave it up. Chance now for Lucas Camporeale to Sharp, the opposite number 24, Smiley. 2 exciting prospects going head-to-head. Strong through the tackle was Smiley. Handball went missing. Draper spins his way through. Sid Draper kicks to full forward. Dodson the target. And he was well worked off it in the end by Hoffman, who takes the mark in the nick of time for Metro.
This Vic Metro defence under siege. South Australia throwing it right at them, and they might put them under the pump again here. Herbert inside 50 with a bullet-like pass, and he hits up Atkinson, who'll have the set shot. Ned Atkinson, as Joel mentioned, son of Brodie Atkinson, who wasn't just a Magarey medalist back in '97, was on St Kilda's list and also Adelaide's list. He played 7 AFL games, a great of the Sandful, no doubt about that. Ned Atkinson, his first game for South Australia of the Under-18 Championships out of Sturt and Edwardstown, from directly in front, kicks it superbly. South Australia giving Vic Metro lots to think about at Alberton Oval.
Well, his first game in the championship, Atkinson, and no surprise to see him kick well. He's a noted goal kicker, had some exceptional games this year, including a bag of 7. His dad was the rising star in his first game at AFL level at St Kilda. 25 disposals first up, and it crossed my mind too that this boy first up might be something, might do some special things as well.
Wearing the number 27, Ned Atkinson. Not sure it'd be a reference. Maybe just what he was given at their first training session. But if it's a reference,
Amazing.
It's a pretty deep cut. It's a good bit of gear, and that was a nice finish. So SA back in front. Been an exciting contest thus far. Plenty to like from both of these two teams. Charlie West getting a continued run in the middle for South Australia, but Reid comes away with it now to Smiley. Darts it inside the 50. Have a look at that. And Ludowick. That was presented on a platter.
And this boy is in his first game, a 17-year-old. You'll note he's a very late birth, so he's in fact just 16 years of age at the minute. Got some elite ability. Lucky enough to see him at under 16 level last year. Win all Australian honours, stand on their shoulders at times, and exciting player to watch him emerge. And a boy at just at grammar school as well.
Very athletic, 3 goals, 1 last week for Sandringham, the left footer. It's not his best finish. Leaves that one away to the right. November 2007, so a bottom major, and by a long way, Ben.
One of 9 Sandringham Dragons out there for Vic Metro today. Mark Wheeler and the crew doing a fantastic job for many years. Handball, though, from Johnson on that occasion, missed the target, allows Ben Camporeale to intercept. Newton with ample runners in the middle. It comes out here to Atkinson. Spears it inside 50. Wasn't the best kick. Not to the advantage of Welsh, who's been left disappointed by the delivery. But that is not great delivery either. Chopped off by Hastings, and they can't quite hit the target. Important fist there from Cole. Able to win it to ground level to Smiley, and now Kako to Newen. Often running off halfback Vic Metro. Kicking towards the middle. King can run onto it. In fact, it's Moraes, and made the good choice to go over the top. Did the team thing. Armstrong into the goal square. Great team football from Vic Metro. End-to-end footy. Ends in a goal to Bailey McKenzie.
And that's the sort of response that Rob Harding would have wanted from his side. They've been challenged, which is fantastic for the game, for the spectacle. Certainly for the recruiters that are here. There'd be 100 or more here. Don't worry, they'll be watching everything that occurs in this game. But SA responded at the start of the game with a great challenge to Vic Metro. And when put under some heat here, a goal or so down, they come up with a great team goal there. Worked together as a group and made it easy at the finish.
So 8 lead changes so far in this contest. Bailey McKenzie, one of a couple out of Old Brighton. As Ben mentioned, the Sandringham Dragons, such a prolific producer of talent. Right in the thick of things, as always, in the Talent League and for Vic Metro. Dodson's back in the ruck now for South Australia. 11 disposals thus far and a goal. Clearing kick out of the middle from Hargrave, who's been excellent. Radley's been quiet. Cole bats that one down. Does the roving as well. That was impressive from the big man. Dangerous kick into the centre. Came from Gross. Was whacked down by McKay, who cut it off. Crow-Eaters back inside the forward 50. Bowman playing in front. Herbert having his best game of the championships thus far. Strong tackle from Nash King. The Wallen product. Have a ball up right on the edge of the 50. South Australia pressing for another score here.
2 goals each for these two teams this quarter. Big tackle from Smiley, asserting his authority on the game. And you think he's the best player in it this year, Josh Smiley. Big-bodied midfielder. Holds his game on Patrick Cripps. Exciting prospect to watch. Cole got the sweeping hand pass away. Smiley runs onto it, then spears it forward, straight into the lap of the South Australian defence. An excellent mark taken by Nichols, playing behind the ball today. Kick just got to McKay. As Joel mentioned, a very important play in the middle of the ground. About a minute ago, he left his man to thwart the contest. He was able to get it forward for South Australia. That's an excellent kick. Well weighted to Bradley. And ball movement today has been very good, South Australia. He goes with a very dangerous kick. That's his best effort. Sims intercepted, but his handball was smothered. And now Ben Camporeale has won it back for South Australia. Prolific game from him. Disposal number 16 coming up for the Carlton father-son prospect. Inside 50 he goes. Welsh is there over the back. Bowman tried the screamer. Newen just gets the kick away, hoping for McKenzie, and gets McKenzie on the bounce.
He's got plenty of time here, Bailey McKenzie. Feeds the handball forward to Traynor, providing some run. Takes it over the top to Emmett. Once he got back into the corridor, Smith presents. Over the top, trying to get it to Kako. Touched on the way through. No, paid the mark. Thought they came off the hand of Sheehan. Kako offloads to Ashcroft. Bullets it into the pocket for McKenzie. Bailey McKenzie's already kicked one. The last of the game that gave us our 8th lead change of the contest. This a bit tough for an assignment. An impressive finish if he can dob it from here. Oh, Sims has almost dragged it in. Just came out as he was trying to bring it to ground. Ball up deep forward for Metro.
Mentally puts his arm up to nominate for the ruck, Tom Sims. And then got boot to ball. That's come off hands, and it's rushed through for a behind for Metro in the end. Holding this 2-point advantage. Clark with the kicking duties. Australia work it out through Hargrave. Sharp on the searching lead. Beat Ashcroft to the ball and plucked it cleanly. Less than 4 minutes remaining here at Alberton Oval. Sharp. Kick had to be spot on. It was to Hargrave. Switch is on. McKay screaming for it. On the other side, it didn't go that way. It went to Lucas Camporeale instead. Loves to run and gun on the wing. Left foot kick towards Montgomery. He's been so strong overhead. Ball went over his head though on this occasion. And it's a high contact free kick. Going the way of Vic Metro. It's going to King. He retreats. To Traynor. He can go to Hollow to reload for Vic Metro.
Up in front of the Port Adelaide Bowling Club. Such a feature of footy here at Alberton. Bowls green. Right where Smith's got it now. For 9 disposals for Jagger Smith. 10, that was his first kick. So quiet by his standards. They're pretty lofty standards. So of course he gets the ball back again immediately. Field to Reid. Methodical build-up from Metro. Smith almost ended up with another one. So good to see Ashcroft doing his thing. Great to see Will back on Friday night for the Lions as well. Almost a goal with his first touch. Deep entry. Smiley almost out the back. Drove really well in the end by Lucas Camporeale. Swings onto his left boot. Intelligent knock on from Burgoyne. Pinched by Grego. Burst through the 50. Centering kicks, a really good one. Marked by Armstrong. Well done from Luca Grego.
Yeah, boy, been a little bit quiet today, but it's been terrific so far in the championships, playing across half-back, Grego. I've also seen him dominate through midfield, but sometimes you get into the representative side, you get pushed back to another spot. And he been very effective with his run from half-back, and that was great. His ability to look back inside and spot up his teammate was fantastic.
We saw Armstrong thump one from outside 50 earlier. He's a little bit closer to home here. The lefty has no problems with the finish and gives Metro their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, graceful move of this boy. Clubs will be desperate to get a line on him. He missed most of last year through, well, he had illness. He had a couple of weeks in hospital, I think, at one point. Had intended to finish his footy at Hailbury, come back and play for Sandringham late in the season. We didn't see him. I noticed him first at a camp in January of this year and was impressed by the way he moved, the size of movement. Wow, you want to see him playing championships. And yeah, we've seen some glimpses now in this quarter of his elite talent.
For all of South Australia's hard work, Vic Metro just seem to have the response every time. They hold an 8-point lead. And it has been a tantalising and entertaining contest. Sharp has been in the thick of it. Thumps it forward from the centre clearance. Comes to ground. Bowman was waiting. Grego again involved. So important in that play just before that led to the Armstrong goal. Strong lead here from Detoli, working hard up the ground. Kicks towards half forward, just over the head of Emmett. He has Hargrave for company. Emmett was up to the task though. Handball's inboard to Ashcroft. Great composure shown by Ashcroft. Handballs to Newen. He goes short just over the head of his teammate on that occasion, but it still might work out okay. How about the composure from Reid? Awesome. Back to McKenzie. Wasn't quite the 15 metres, and that will almost do us for half-time.
An entertaining opening half here at Alberton. South Australia in their last game of the championships looking for a response.
He's ready to run right now against bigger bodies. This boy will take time. He's got some elite talent.
He kicked 3 goals last time out here. He's already got 1 to his name. We know the aerial ability. 2 almost took a great mark here in the second quarter as well. But I guess adding that roundness to his game, and only a half left in these championships for South Australia. They've been impressive so far. There's a real opportunity for them to impress, and we've seen a couple of players step up today. Dyson Sharp's been good, but Kate Herbert's been one who's been a real winner for them in that first half.
Yeah, I think their leadership group have been terrific, and that includes the Camporeale boys, and it includes the likes of Herbert. I think Draper, too, has set a good standard right from the opening bounce, their captain. Remember, he's missed half a year coming off, fractures in his shin, which has kept him off his feet for half the season. And he's had a good first half, linking up, providing some real good run out of the centre and some clearance work as well.
There's Agnes Clark on screen. He's a real riser throughout the champs for South Australia. So 1 half left for South Australia in their National Under-18 Championships campaign. There's a free kick off the ball by the non-controlling umpire. It's going to go the way of South Australia. There's some holding, I think, in the defensive arc. So Dodson will receive the free kick and get it to Draper and go short for Sharp, who juggles it and was so strong to hold on to the ball and take the mark with Newen right in his hammer. Excellent mark from Sharp. He goes deep inside 50. Welsh is caught behind. He almost took the mark, but then he gave away a free kick for illegal contact. Just hasn't quite been Tyler Welsh's day so far today. Just 3 touches yet to kick a goal. Metro bring the ball out towards half-back. Hoffman, quick hands, put his teammate under a lot of pressure. Turnover. Newton hoping for Bradley. If the ball got through, Bradley was away. Bradley follows up with a tackle and forces his opponent in Smith out of bounds. So South Australia can have a look almost at a forward 50 stoppage here.
Jagger Smith with the 12 disposals in the first half. Hasn't had less than 28 in any of his Talent League games so far this season. So he's a bit behind pace, but knows how to find the footy. Sharp's been super impressive. His battle with Smiley has been terrific too. Big-bodied midfielders. They model their games on the likes of Patrick Cripps, and they've shown plenty in there for their respective teams. Smiley's a little bit slow to get up here. 224s stand alongside each other again. Emmett tried to hook it down. Charlie West getting a run in the ruck at the moment. Dodson sitting behind the footy for SA. Gross kept it in front of himself. Handball to Newen. Back to Gross. Little sidestep was neat. And then the infield kick was too. Smiley across the back 50. Oliver, good user on that left boot. Shows it there. Grego, the boy from Bacchus Marsh, now under the tutelage of Nick McGuan at Keilor, where he plays his local footy. Caco's been impressive. Ashcroft is all alone. You can't leave Levi there. He's got Sims leading to the pocket. He's also in plenty of space. Kick will finally get to Sims now, but falls short. Clark stands in the hole for the Crow Eaters.
Just didn't quite have the penetration on that kick from Harrison Oliver, who normally covers plenty of territory. Clark brings it out, and a strong mark from Newton. Clark to Newton, probably two of South Australia's big rises across the Under-18 Championship so far. Newton goes lateral. Working along the boundary. Then Camporeale coming up for his first disposal of the third quarter and 17 overall. Goes long down the line. Big contest, West and Dodson. Two bigs involved. Big don't argue there from Detoli and retreats to Grego. Johnson retreats even further to Traynor. They can use the switch effectively here, Vic Metro. Hoffman has Newen short and heads in that direction, and they've got a free player on the wing here in Mackenzie. Newen backs his pace and instead goes inboard. It's a good decision to go to Smiley. That kick, though, was inaccurate. Draper got a hand of the ball. Johnson try to win it back. What a win from Draper. Inspirational from the captain. The 1-2. Gets around his opponent as well. Hand pass over the top. The kick from West is straight. Huge team lifter at the start of the quarter for South Australia.
Well, Benny, you described it brilliantly. Inspirational stuff there from Sid Draper. We expected a lot this year. This boy's an All-Australian as a 17-year-old that had the injuries in the first part of the year. But right from the opening bounce today, he's set the standard. But this is his second efforts were amazing. His athletic ability, his follow-up, his unselfishness too to bring his teammates into the game, to set the play up for his team. So that's great leadership and rewarded with a wonderful finish. And that's the start they would have wanted. You know, they're within reach now, and this has been a fantastic comeback from what we'd seen from SA last week when WA had them.
You love a comparison shifter. Who does Sid Draper remind you of when you watch him play?
Well, it's always difficult to sum it up. It's a bit of Chad Warner change of direction. I reckon it's pretty special. Straight line speed's one thing, but to be able to dance on your feet and get through the traffic and change lanes, as we call it, don't we, at senior level. He can change lanes and he's away and opens the game up as he did on that occasion.
It's a nice comparison to someone who's in the Brownlow medal conversation. Domenico takes an impressive mark to Clark. Hargraves kick smothered by Smith. And then he'll win a free kick. Phoenix Hargrave had a hold of the jumper. Caco, delivery to the edge of the arc. Elias couldn't mark. He'll be first back there, though. Immediately looks for options. Finds one in Reed. Handball went missing. Smiley picked it up. Goes over the top. Vic Metro everywhere at the moment. Reed caught, holding the ball. Gee, they were lining up. They just couldn't put the finishing touches on it. Some nice defensive work from Jacob Sheehan. It's been impressive, the South Adelaide product. On the bounce to Clark. Straight back to Sheehan. They've had their stats inside the back 50.
The South Australian defence has held up pretty well throughout the day. That kick has set a task, though, for his teammate in Burgoyne, and Sims was able to get there and tap it over the line. So they'll be under siege again, the Crow Eaters' defence. Vic Metro by 2 points. Absolutely chock full of talent, this Vic Metro side. Most recruiters believe that the majority of the first round will come from this Vic Metro team, but South Australia punching above their weight. Murphy Reid, though, is a star on the rise. Ford 50 stoppage craft from Murphy Reid. He has 2 goals.
Super smart stuff, that. We've seen him a lot in the last couple of years dominate through midfield. He's got no problem fighting the ball. He's gifted athletically, very, very clean with the hands. He's certainly adding that forward craft to his resume as well. And the good small forwards yet need to be able to play through midfield and vice versa. So he's got that versatility added to his game, goal kicking ability, but love the way he uses the ball generally with his field kicking as well.
Just a player that when you watch him, it feels like time genuinely stops when he has the footy. His composure's been great, and I think he's risen up a few draft boards according to clubs over the past couple of weeks.
He's in your stable, Benny.
I'm all in on him.
Firmly in your stable. Yep. A couple of the Carlton fans watching will be pretty impressed with what Ben Camporeale's done. That time he gets caught. So free kick to Gross. To the edge of 50. Moraes battles for it. Can't wrench it free. He's in the top 10 conversation as well.
Yep.
Christian Moraes, he's trained with Hawthorn. Models his game after Scott Pendlebury and Zach Butters. So, again, some nice players to be working in the shadows of. They're going inside the defensive 50. Hastings, now Bowman bouncing off half-back. Ben Camporeale to Dodson. Look at the big fella just lope through the middle of the ground. They chain it forward with some intent here, South Australia. A play from Bradley. Kept it in front of himself. Another handball. They've gone the length of the ground by hand. And they've just marked it up at the finish. Good defensive intervention there from Johnson. He got it to Hoffman. And now Hollow. They can just settle with ball in hand. Nice work infield from Gross. Found Kako. Smiley. Up the other end now, Vic Metro. Oh, terrific mark from Armstrong. He was just that on that occasion.
Well, we've seen the glimpses in the second quarter, didn't we, of some talent that teases you, and that's another indication of what he can do one-on-one. Use of body, very, very good. And at this stage, like he's a 193, 6'4" in the old, so a good size. Not the prime target now. They're often over 200 centimetres, but with his marking ability, his mobility, he could be the perfect second tall forward.
An opportunity goes begging at one end, and Harry Armstrong takes full toll at the other. 2 for him, and Metro gets some separation in the ball game.
Yeah, and a good response, because in the previous 5 or 6 minutes, it looked to be all SA. They had some wonderful passages of play and were really working hard as a group, and looked to be starting to wrestle back some control, but a great response from the Vic Metro boys.
It's a great mark from Armstrong too, opposed to Sheehan, who's been terrific in defence for South Australia. Tracked it in flight and judged it beautifully.
Not a goal kicker. 8 goals from 3 Talent League games for Harry Armstrong for the Sandringham Dragons, and now he has 3 goals from 1.5 games for Vic Metro. And they just, as Joel mentioned, get that little gap on South Australia. Now it's up to the Crow Eaters to respond. They've had a response most of the time. That's almost a throw against Reed. Umpire called play on. Hollow attacked it. Didn't quite keep his feet. Excellent work there from Bowman. Goes on with the outside of the right boot. Had to be perfect towards Bradley. Just knocked away from him. Ashcroft handballs further afield. Hollow trying to run onto it. Brought down by Herbert. South Australia converge on the footy now. Bradley involved. Smiley joins in the party. And it will be tossed up. Just under 15 minutes remaining in this third quarter. 25-minute flat quarters in the National Under-18 Championship. Sims decisively down. Excellent clean pickup from Bradley, but Bowman was put under the hammer. Free kick for a push coming back to South Australia, and Bowman worked hard at the ground at times throughout this game. A lot of blue and white ahead of him. Kicks to a contest. Bradley caught behind. Read the ball well. Montgomery feeds him now. Bradley on the left towards a one-on-one. Well-weighted ball. What hands! Presentation of the hands was awesome from Atkinson. The kick even better. No free kick to Welsh. Traynor did well in the end not to give away the free. To Detoli across the back line. He clears, and it's a good kick as well into the arms of Archie Ludowick.
Gee, there's little glimpses, little glimmers all over the ground at the moment. Sturzel gets in the way. One of the 4 inclusions for South Australia today. Playing his first game of the championships. Rolls around onto his left. Low kick. It's awkward for Reed. Almost had to soccer it up to himself, solo style. Traynor came in. So composed, Luke Traynor. Calm in a crisis. Now Ashcroft. Back out to Reed. Ashcroft and Reed have had it 16 times apiece. They're racking them up. King now to Gross. Again, we see Metro go into that slow chipping ball movement. Reid kept it in front of himself, had to have thrown it. Umpire eventually brings it back. He just couldn't get the grasp on it there. It was slipping out of his fingertips. Draper looks to move it immediately. Herbert stationed at centre-half forward. Atkinson, who took a mark with vice grip-like hands a couple of moments ago. Herbert offloads. Here's Lucas Camporeale. Puts a dart into the pocket. Welsh kept it in front of himself. Snaps truly. Oh, when it's not your day, it can be your moment. That was for Tyler Welsh.
I've got that feeling we might be saying that for the next 10 years about that young fella. He's got some exceptional talent, Tyler Welsh, and at times he can be quiet and out of the game, but then he can do special things, and that was the ability to recover quickly. When it hits the deck, he's up quickly and bang, off one step straight through the middle. And he's likely to do it in patches too, that type of player. So leave him out there. Please don't put him on the bench. Let him do 2 or 3 in a row. A very exciting young player.
Let's head boundary side to Megan Waters. Hello, Megan.
Hello. How good's the contest been, guys? It's been great end-to-end footy, but as you can probably see right now, looking at Cody Anderson, unfortunately, that right foot or right ankle in the moon boot, and you can see the disappointment in his face. He's obviously not making his way back out there today, and yeah, let's just hope he has a speedy recovery with that one.
He came off very early in the game, as Megan pointed out. The Eastern Rangers product. It was his first game of the championships and was hoping to make an immediate impact. Didn't quite get his way. Non-controlling umpire has paid a free kick here for holding the ball against Draper and going to Gross, who's getting better with every minute here. He goes inside 50, up high the South Australian defence. Kako trying to run onto it. Can he get to his feet or put it towards the advantage of McKenzie? Just overran the ball. Clark hacks it out, makes it somebody else's issue. It went straight to Gross though. South Australia backline feeling the heat. Congested forward line, but he finds a teammate to Murphy Reid, and he can have the set shot from almost directly in front.
Already kicked the 2 goals, and we mentioned his field kicking is excellent. He showed today that, that he's comfortable around the sticks as well.
So Gross, who kicked it to Reid, had 8 disposals in this 3rd quarter, having a big influence, as is this player on screen, Murphy Reid. High impact player. Floats through for the goal. A 3rd goal and a statement on the national championship stage from Murphy Reid.
Yeah, his 17th disposal, and looks very composed there, doesn't he? With some people, they look to be under pressure as they come in for that set shot for goal. Very natural, relaxed, good approach, good ball drop, and got the result that he's after. He's had an excellent game. His 17th disposal, 3 goals is a great return before 3/4 time. But it's been typical of what he has done right throughout his year for Sandringham and the Coates Talent League, as well as in the first 2 matches of this championship, was averaging the 24 disposals, and he looks to be at least matching that today.
And as a bottom age player last year in the 2023 Premiership for Sandringham, 2 goals and 19 disposals in the grand finals, a big game performer.
Showing it here today, Murphy Reid. Ashcroft went off the ground there, right in the centre of the traffic. Here's Gross, who's racking them up. He's going to almost get another touch here after he kicked it into Camporeale on the mark. He is. Accepts it gleefully from King. Off to Ashcroft. High kick inside the arc, and that is killed with some real intent by Delmenico, who's been in the wars so far. Got a knock to the head earlier that Megan told us about. Spent some significant time off the ground, but he's back out there from just down Tapley's Hill Road at Henley. Plays his footy for Woodville West Torrens, a little bit further down Port Road here from where we are at Alberton. Beautiful historic ground. Redevelopment in recent years to the Port Adelaide complex. Out on the eastern side. Emmett gets a fist to it in ruck for Metro. Ashcroft hooks it around the body. Numbers there for SA. And the red jumpers able to force it into a neutral. And another throw in, and again it was Delmenico coming across the top of the pack.
Delmenico is probably one of the best marks there. He is the number 28 on screen for South Australia. Probably one of the best marks in the draft class this year. One to watch. And 190 centimetres. Dodson doing the ruck work here against Sims. Dodson in front, won it down. Vic Metro waiting at ground level to pounce though. Handball came out, Lucas Camporeale to Burgoyne. With a Burgoyne-like arch to the back and acceleration away out of defence. Kick though was inaccurate and marked just in the field of play by Newen. Wastes no time. Kicks inboard. Bounce important here for Emmett. Feeds Smiley. Just got the handball away. Murphy Reid can do no wrong at the moment. His kick was to Armstrong. The mark is paid in the end. Wasn't the cleanest kick off the boot of Murphy Reid, but the result was his goal. And Armstrong can have a look at a third goal for Vic Metro. The left footer who kicked such a pivotal goal for Vic Metro against Western Australia a couple of weeks ago to seal victory at 193 centimetres. And a nice left foot kick. One to watch for many AFL fans. Perfect set shot execution from Harry Armstrong. A third major for him.
I wonder whether Matty Lloyd's had the odd kick of training with him. His coach, of course, out there at Hailbury. He looked a bit like Matthew Lloyd, except for the maybe didn't throw the grass up, but he looked quite natural in the way he's approached that set shot for goal. He's had a good game today. That adds another dimension, like below the knees. You always talk about that. Any tall boy, well, he's picked it up in the shoelaces then, hasn't he? Just got the fingers under the ball and then had no trouble converting from 30 metres. He's been impressive today. Third goal from his 6 marks and 9 disposals.
One of the inclusions for Vic Metro, 4 in his last Coates Talent League game. Matty Lloyd playing footy down in Warrnambool yesterday.
Yes.
Saw a video of him doing the patented grass throw up and the whole approach playing for old collegians down in Warrnambool. And Armstrong, you're in no doubt whether he's left-footed or right-footed on the approach because he holds it way out over his left leg. It's a really interesting setup for goal. Here's Murphy Reid again. Arches the back, bursts away, kick inside 50. Big collision there coming across. Clark was able to get a fist to it for South Australia. Burgoyne working in defence. Plays the tackle on Sims. And we'll have it tossed up. Metro out to a game-high 20-point lead. South Australia kicked the very first of the game within 30 seconds to Benny Barrett. Trying to atone for a disappointing performance against WA here a fortnight ago. Metro have taken control since. Free kick coming to Ben Camporeale here. Disposal number 21 coming up for the father-son prospect. Out of the Glenelg Footy Club. Kicks long down the line. Cole reaches over the top. Takes the mark for Metro. Can launch them back inside the 50. Does just that. Armstrong 2 hands to it. Might have been a throw in there going against South Australia. Umpire says there was. Moraes has got it. You have to launch into this from just outside the 50. He doesn't look like he's going back with any real confidence. Lays it up into the pocket. Good option. Sims couldn't take the mark. Crummers there. Ludowick was one of them. Got legged. And Archie Ludowick will have a chance close to home to make it a 26-point lead for Metro.
Just responded, haven't they, in the last 7 or 8 minutes and dominated this passage of play, or a number of passages of play in that period. Rob Harding, their coach, the Sandringham coach. Coach of Vic Metro would be happy with that response. The boys have been challenged, they responded. Ludowick, normally a very good set shot for goal. Another left footer.
The bottom major. They've been tested, Vic Metro. They've just got so much firepower. Ludowick adds his name to the list. Metro out by 26.
Yeah, see the free kick. The free kick was there. The low contact, the trip, if you like. Ludowick had no trouble converting.
5 straight this quarter for Metro as well.
First time all day that they've kicked 3 consecutive goals as well, and overall they've kicked 7 of the last 9 goals of the game. They've got scoreboard ascendancy and showing their talent and class. And Archie Ludowick, not one for this year's draft, one for next year's draft. Remarkably doesn't turn 17 until November this year. But he is a player with serious hops, and one day could take a screamer for us all to remember. That bounce wasn't recalled. It favoured Dodson. Sharp couldn't quite get the clean hand pass away. Still working hard at ground level with Gross, who's played a third quarter to remember. Draper with an excellent hand pass out of congestion to Bowman and back to Draper. Trying to set something up here for South Australia. Sweeps it inboard. Welsh is having a run on the ball here. Goes with a hand pass out wide to Burgoyne with 2.5 left to play. Good team-orientated decision to Bowman, who will have the set shot from directly in front.
And you'd be happy that this boy's having the set shot too. He looks to be probably the most composed player in terms of his kicking ability. Can he handle the pressure of the moment? This would get them back, believing they're within reach.
Son of 1997 Norwood Premiership player Lachlan Bowman. He's a big Crows fan as well, Ned Bowman. Had a couple of real standout moments in 2024. That kick has the legs but doesn't have the accuracy. A minor for South Australia. 2 goals, 1 in this quarter compared to Vic Metro's 5 goals straight.
Been accurate from both teams. Grego brings it back into play. Oliver's eyes darting. Emmett the target in the wrestle with Dodson. The big fella from Paynham gave away the free kick on that occasion. Aggressive kick into the corridor. Gross got whacked into. That'll be a free kick against Atkinson. Gross coming up for disposal number 11 of the quarter. More than most players on the ground have had in the entire contest. Ashcroft out wide. Oliver provides some run. They chain it forward. Reed now for Metro to Moraes. They're finding space and moving the footy with some real intent. Kick to the pocket, Armstrong. You've given them a real target, particularly here in this third term, Harry Armstrong.
Difficult shot for a left-footer deep in the pocket, but certainly wouldn't dismiss him on what we've seen to date. Gee, I love the work of Tommy Gross. You've mentioned him a number of times. His results this quarter, but I love his, call it the sharp competitive edge. Competes. You want guys that have got that. He demonstrates it so obviously. The way he stood under the ball there, won the free through his courage.
A left footer from that left forward pocket grazes the left-hand goalpost. And back out to a 26-point lead. And
Gross's work rate overall gets
Yes.
up and down the ground. He's presenting, he's helping his teammates, shepherding, tackling.
Ross getting a hand pass away. Not sure if that handball will count right on the siren. He's had a stack of it. Vic Metro with a commanding lead now at 3/4 time. Right.
One of the stars of the show in that third term shifter was Harry Armstrong. The Tour de France started last night. It is a good time to be Armstrong. And Harry stood up in that third period with, he's got 3 goals so far.
I tell you what he's got a touch of Jezza, Jeremy Cameron. The left footer from Geelong, that I'd love to see him up the ground to see whether he can really do the repeat efforts of Jeremy Cameron, but he's got similarities up around the sticks, his size, his movement, graceful mover, beautiful left foot kick. He's got 3 goals, one of only 2 multiple goal kickers out on the ground. They've been important goals, those 3 goals that he has kicked, and we know that he's been underdone, underexposed to date at this sort of level through illness, injury over the last couple of years, but love what I've seen today.
Yeah, only his second game of the championships, and he's really made a statement, Benny.
Certainly has, as did Tom Gross in that third quarter for Vic Metro. 11 touches in that third quarter.
Did his handball on the siren count?
I don't think it did, Joel, but I don't think he really matters too much for him. He's going to be a first rounder, you'd think, a little bit later on this year. Whistle on play. It's going to be coming back to South Australia. To Sid Draper. They try to kickstart his team in that third quarter. Disposal number 16 for him. Burgoyne inside, 50 for South Australia. Dropped there by King, but was good enough to win it back at ground level. Kick across the face of goal is dangerous. Cole tucked up right on the boundary line, and in the end, Bradley was able to corral him out of bounds. So it'll be spun back into play. Right next to that behind post here. Vic Metro with a dominant third quarter. 5 goals won, 2 goals won. Now holding that 26-point lead. West doing the ruck work here with Emmett. Smith so clean at ground level and accelerates away from the stoppage. Working with Hollow and Ashcroft. Back to Smith. That work rate on display. Was tackled illegally though. Nichols is down after the play. This is Smith, but he will come back to the ball magnet. And he can set Vic Metro up here from the wing.
The Richmond Junior Footy Club, Jagger Smith into Melbourne. Reid, who's had a real display. 21 disposals, 3 goals for Murphy Reid. Takako just couldn't hold on to it. Sturzel's hand pass. Hastings almost gave it up to Gross. Burgoyne's soccer out wide. Here is Gross. Handball back into traffic. Goes at ground level. Big fend off from Hargrave. Showing his strength in the contest. Detoli flicked it up. Welsh again working hard up the ground. Draper tried to arch the back. It's not clean stuff at the moment. Both teams with a real sense of urgency about the way they're going about it. We saw even from Tyler Welsh in that third term shifter. Even though the game's slipping away from South Australia, there is still plenty of opportunities to impress.
Yeah, and he's a burst player. We mentioned that. Good to see him push up the ground here too and try and influence the play.
Emmett kicks to the pocket. Playing in front. Reading it all the way was Nichols.
A disappointing result because the 2 Vic Metro players were in the vicinity and Nichols was the only South Australian. They've done well to force the ball to ground level here though, Vic Metro. Holding his 26-point lead. If you read at the bottom of that pack, what a game he's played. 21 and 3 goals for Murphy Reid, the number 8 there for Vic Metro. Dodson to go at it with Emmett. Down to Smiley, who grabbed it and snapped it and kicked it towards the top of the goal square. Decisive fist away there from Sheehan. Perfectly placed in the end. And it falls into the lap of Hastings. And through the middle goes South Australia. Promising build-up. Newton feeds Ben Camporeale. Kicks towards a pretty even forward 50. Barrett tried to use his body. Well played, Nash King in the end. Welsh tried to win it back at ground level. Vic Metro with the answers and the numbers at ground level here. Spills to Gross. He tries to handball in ball, but he's run down and gone. Holding the ball. Good fight back by South Australia. And they can have another forward 4-8.
Kate Herbert wins the free. 13 touches. He was busy in that first half, a lot quieter in that third period, as were a lot of his teammates. Kick not necessarily to the advantage of Welsh, but he made it work, coming in from stage left. That is some aerial strength from big Tyler Welsh. Goal one so far today. Another snap that failed to register a score. Crow's father-son prospect, of course. Never looked like it. It's not going to score. So the yips continue, unfortunately, for big Tyler.
7 goals, 4 across the championship so far prior to this game. Tries to apply the pressure there on Grego. Just had to be careful not to encroach on the mark. Hugging the boundary line, Grego. He finds Traynor. Traynor, potentially a top 5 prospect later this year. Kicks like that, no wonder why he's been talked like that.
Grandfather, of course, Doug Wade.
Yes.
Didn't quite kick like that.
No.
Over forward, the torpedo punt for goal was Doug's specialty in a great career. One of the greatest goal kickers of all time, of course.
Gross finds Smith over the top to Smiley. 3 potential top-end picks. Make it a 4th in Moraes. They all link up. Moraes with a terrific look at the goals, and he finishes. The talent of Vic Metro on display in that passage of play right there.
And he's added that goal kicking to his little repertoire this year, Christian Moraes. Always been a great collector of the footy and a hard worker from end to end, but He's kicked a goal a game in his 11 matches in the talent pathway this year for his 11 goals. And just has added that dimension. He ends up on the end of one here, but often it can be a burst from the centre of the ground that kicks a goal for he, but a very solid player again today.
What are the main strengths of his game, Shifter?
Well, the strengths, I think, are the ball-winning ability, the understanding of the game, preparedness to work hard to get over and support his teammate. Elite speed, his running speed, once he's on the move, is quite elite. Yep.
He's trained with the Eastern Rangers, the Knox Falcons Junior Footy Club. Surged forward by South Australia, but King stands in the way, and here is Moraes. You see the burst, but Hargrave latches onto him. Great stuff from Phoenix Hargrave. Who again has had plenty of it. 17 disposals for Hargrave today. 32-point lead to Vic Metro. Let's check in downstairs with Megan Waters.
Yeah, guys, Sid Draper, he came off with a bit of a calf cramp in his right calf. They worked on him, gave him a little bit of a rub down, and it looks like he's lining up to get back out there. But I will also note that Dyson Sharp, he has come off. The top of his right knee is iced up, and the way that it looks at the minute, I don't think he's going back out there. He's got his jumper on. So, yeah, a couple of updates from the South Australian side.
Thanks, Megan. Chance for Metro. Again, Hargrave is part of the intervention. Short to Ben Camporeale. Out wide to Burgoyne. Welsh on the hit up. Traynor got a fist in there. King had it go past him. Smith's on top of it. They pile in on top of him.
Tyler Welsh applying the big tackle there, asserting his presence on the contest. Ball up on the edge of the centre square. Ben Camporeale, was he held without it? Umpire said play on. Jagger Smith, quick hands to Gross, trying to fight through a couple of tackles, and he fought through, well, he couldn't fight through the Benny Barrett one in the end. Barrett having a run on the ball at the start of this fourth quarter. The Port Adelaide NGA prospect. High left foot kick, deep inside 50. Welsh paid the mark. Terrific strength. And now the test. The delivery to him throughout the day probably hasn't been the best of all time from South Australia. But his ability to get to the contest and take the mark has been on display a couple of times. So now Tyler Welsh. Didn't register a score with his last attempt. He's got 1 goal, 1. That looks a little right. It's a minor score, and you can see the frustration in the Crows' father-son prospect.
Still so much to like about his game.
Oh, look, all these boys are a work in progress. We know that, and later in the year, look, up to 100 players might get through to the AFL, but only a third of those would play the next year. Be ready to play, and so the other boys, they might be 2 or 3 years away from, even if drafted later this year, from having their first go at the professional AFL level. That's the reality of it, and all these boys are still learning the game, and many of the SA boys, they'll progress and play senior footy at the end of the year. Some have played already.
Yeah, Tyler Welsh is one of those.
Yep, played already, but others will get up to reserves level in some cases, others up into the senior level and get a taste of it. And yeah, about 70% of the players get drafted the first time they're up, and the other 30%, it's their 19th or could be their 23rd or 5th year.
West inside 50. Dodson 2 hands to it, slapped away from him. Barrett just keeps it moving, shuffling forward. Smiley's handball looking for Newen. Draper had a hand in there. Here goes Gross with some speed and a couple of bounces bursting through the middle of Alberton. Ludovic! Read it beautifully.
How about the confidence of the 16-year-old as well to tell Jacob Sheen, I just took that pretty cleanly.
Little chat, did he?
Yeah, a little bit of chat.
Jacob Sheen right at the top end of the age bracket in terms of the 18-year-olds, and Archie Ludovic right at the bottom end, and says to the apprentice plumber, don't quit your day job. He's already got one. There's Archie Ludovic. Another lefty up front for Vic Metro. Just drags that kick away to the right-hand side.
And Jacob Sheehan just lets the result sink in rather than rub it in.
Might have just been a look.
Just under 15 minutes remaining in the game. This is South Australia's last game of the championships, and in Camporeale, being one of their best performers, be up there in their South Australian MVP contention. That kick, though, well off the mark. Falls to Smith, goes short, pinpoint, and Moraes marks strongly for Vic Metro. Can't give Jagger Smith too many opportunities like that. Often make the opposition pay. So Christian Moraes with a look at the goals here. Noted ball winner. As a look at the goals, goal umpire did not move a step. 2 goals to Christian Moraes.
And gets up to his 16, 17 possessions, so he's been part of that midfield mix that we thought would be pretty elite in this championship, rotating through there, spending some time forward as well, and might play 75% of the game time, given they have 5 on the bench, the teams, and yeah, it just shows that converting ability. Love the way Jagger Smith has worked into the game, quite by his standards. His standards are very high. He's worked his way into it to become a very good ball winner, 21 disposals to date.
He's a prolific scorer in his basketballing career with the Waverley Falcons and the VJBL and Victoria at representative level. He's hitting the scoreboard with regularity here as well. With a couple of goals today. Christian Moraes. Ashcroft out wide. Newen darts one way, the other. Reid had a stack of it. 25 disposals to go with 3 goals, 1. Ashcroft coming up for number 26. Newen wanted to go immediately. Lucas Camporeale had a firm grasp on his jumper. Moraes again, handball forward, was looking for Johnson, who ran out of room.
I point out that many of these better boys are members of the AFL National Academy 2 under Tarkin Lockyer. Played 2 games against VFL opponents this year. That gives them, with these 4 matches, in that 6 games at a very high level. So when you're thinking about performance overall, you're weighing up all of those in the finish, 6 performances.
And of course, the bottom majors on grand final day get to run out. The Camporeale boys were
stars
2 of those last year and absolutely lit it up on grand final day. So a chance for them to experience the MCG on footy's biggest day of the year as well.
You mentioned those 2 academy games against VFL opposition shifter. Levi Ashcroft, who we just saw go out of bounds, had 33 disposals, 5 clearances against Coburg, 29 disposals and 6 clearances against Footscray in a best on-ground performance. That is the epitome of playing up to the level. And he's done it again today with another 28 touches and counting. Kako explodes away from the stoppage. Handballs over the top to Smith, to Gross. Deserves a goal, Tom Gross. Snaps high and doesn't snap straight. Through for a behind the Vic Metro. But Metro have been dominant since halftime, and they've kicked the last 5 consecutive goals of this game.
Well, no one can, as we just saw then, do it like Jagger. The way he arched his back and got it across then was pretty special. It makes him hard to grab. On every occasion he wins the ball.
Camporeale boys working between themselves here. Ben to Lucas, to Ben. Tackled, caught holding the ball. Moraes has had a real impact with a couple here in this last quarter, and now a little bit of a scrap with Ben Camporeale, who's had 26 of his own. Goes short to Traynor.
And you mentioned the numbers of Ashcroft. Traynor was the other medalist, the best player in the first of those National Academy games with his performance as a key defender. We know that he dribbles the ball brilliantly when playing in key defence. How does he go in front of the sticks? As Grandad Doug, give him a tip or 2, Doug Wade referring to.
I think goal kicking runs in the family for Luke Traynor. Does most of his work at the other end of the ground.
Oh, Doug needs to help him.
He's sent that one out wide. Big stretch from Sims. Couldn't pull it in. Ludowic's there as well. Chance for Kako outside of the boot. Brilliant!
Yeah. Special. That was pretty special. Wasn't even off the step. was just off handling the ball cleanly, and had already summed up where the goals were. And that's the brilliant innate ability of some boys to really know before the ball gets to you exactly which way you're facing, which angle you're at, and what you need to do. So he pre-programmed that, and then, yep, bangs it straight in the boot. A little bit of a boomerang on it, and through it goes. That's pretty special.
Certain things you can't teach.
No.
So I mentioned at the start of the call, his high, his ability to impact the scoreboard through his disposal. So he's had 15 today, and 11 have turned into scores for Vic Metro.
Yeah.
He's an exciting talent. Essendon NGA member, so he is tied to the Bombers under the current rules as they stand, and we know that these rules are currently being assessed by league headquarters in consultation with the clubs. Essendon can't match a bid if it comes before pick 40 at the moment, but those rules, as I mentioned, are under review. From the centre clearance, Smiley spears it to Moraes. Had a big last quarter, Christian Moraes, finishing strong. He goes inside 50 with the kick on the searching lead, Ludovic. Jumped away from him and out of bounds. Vic Metro now holding a 45-point lead. 3 goals to zip in this final quarter. They've been dominant since half-time. South Australia really did throw everything at Vic Metro basically for the first 3.5 quarters. It's been Metro since then.
I think the class and depth has shown. I think SA's endeavour has been terrific.
Yep.
Just overall class and talent has come to the fore in the final quarter and a bit.
Smiley just overran the ball, then followed up the tackle. Barrett feeds it out. Ben Camporeale hacks it on the boot. Goes towards space, hoping for someone to run onto it. That's an excellent mark going back with the flight from Draper. Waste no time. Handball ability, almost Sam Mitchell-like to get it moving. Didn't quite come off, but follows up with a tackle. Comes to Moraes, feeds the hand pass out to Reed. Now has some run from behind. Hoffman has time to assess and kick up towards half forward, and Nichols has taken the mark, and he's looked okay behind the ball today. Charlie Nichols, his 4th intercept mark for South Australia.
He was really good up front against Vic Country, just couldn't finish his work. Had a down week a fortnight ago here at Alberton. Swung back today by either end of the ground for Woodville West Torrens. Out of the Midman Eagles, about an hour north of here, up near Clare. Reed across the centre of the ground. Welsh coming in athletically, couldn't take the mark. Spilt to Sturzel. He looks for Montgomery. Traynor back with the flight. Drapes himself over Louis Montgomery. King tried to ride the bump, lost it in the tackle. Umpire waved it on. Bowman is dragged to the turf. So 6.5 minutes remaining here. Not only in this game, but in South Australia's under-18 campaign. Port Adelaide and St Kilda at Marvel Stadium coming up on Fox Footy to continue a Sunday ticket. Big day of footy ahead. After the Crows got a win last night, the other contingent of South Australian fans will be hoping that the Power can do likewise. It'll be a pretty happy crew here at Alberton Oval if they get the job done today.
Dodson doing the ruck work here. Ashcroft with the quick clearance, and how about the hands of Ludovic? And then Ashcroft kept on running, provided another option and kicks up towards half forward. And another big fly from West this time. An impressive grab in defence for South Australia. Over the head though of Sheehan. And a missed opportunity for South Australia, whose championships will come to an end soon. Ben Camporeale was seeing the ball over the line there, and intensely watched there by the Carlton recruiting staff. Mick Agresta, top right of your screen there, watching on. The recruiting boss of Carlton. A bit to think about for the Blues, with Ben and Lucas eligible to the club at the end of the season via the draft. Ball comes to ground here. Hand pass comes out to Ashcroft, who steps inside. Levi Ashcroft with some Ashcraft. Vic Metro hit the ton, and Levi Ashcroft caps off another sensational day with a goal.
His skill level is exceptional. We've seen it throughout these championships. Remember a goal at one stage at Icon Park where he's deep in a pocket, right against the boundary line, and it was traditional drop punt kick. He just backed himself with his skill to put it through it. This one was from 50 off one step, wasn't it? It was dead centre. So his skill level is absolutely exceptional. Despite the, I suppose, distraction of the player running at him then, he knew exactly what he's doing. He's had another terrific game, 31 disposals and a goal, but it's par for the course. He's just so consistent at every level of footy he plays.
One thing about the Ashcrofts is they're so professional in their approach as well. So they put in and they get out. Dodson has been one of the finds for South Australia in this carnival. Ben Camporeale with the entry. Hollow. Oh, to pluck it nicely to Moraes, who's had a stack of it here in this final term. They're just surging it forward now. Emmett to the pocket. A fly from Sims. Can't take the mark. And here is Kako right on cue. Centering kick. Reed's got 3. Tries to slip the tackle. Ran into a wall. And that South Australian defence will clear only momentarily because Burgoyne's kick has been swallowed up by Moraes. He's already got 2 in the quarter. Might take 1 for the road. Oh, no questions about where he's kicked it from. Right from the 5 in the 50. He gave it a good lift, but away to the left.
That thudding sound, you almost feel it in your chest as he kicked that, Christian Moraes. Ben Camporeale, big game for him today. To brother Lucas, 28 and 19 disposals respectively for the Camporeales. They look for each other again, but Moraes shows excellent work rate to put it into neutral territory.
Well, Ben Camporeale's been fantastic over the 4 games, absolutely. We talked of Ashcroft and his professionalism. Well, this young man, the way he's prepared himself to play and then played in each of the games has been super. Lucas, not that far behind, to be quite honest. He's played quite well in a different role. He's playing outside on a wing, working hard up and down the ground. Ben, as an inside player, has been remarkably consistent right throughout the 4 games.
If you're a Carlton fan, they've been as advertised.
Here's Draper, kicks towards an open forward 50. Thumped away there by Cole, who's looked pretty solid in defence for Vic Metro. And they'll look to work it out via hand. Smith to Newen, hoping for Grego. Nice hand in there from Hargrave to force the turnover for South Australia. They retreat back to Newton, who's running out of mates. Kako arrives to pinch it. Goes to Newen. He couldn't find a teammate, though. Some tired bodies out there and some hack kicks forward. Bounce important. Spills to Atkinson. Johnson wins it back for Vic Metro. Kicks it high. Emmett went up in the contest, couldn't quite take it, and Dodson, I think, is pretty satisfied to see a ball up.
Interesting to see where he does land, Alex Dodson. Of course, he's still got the choice to make as to whether he goes all the way with footy, but you'd think the first round, the back end of the first round in a not a ruck-heavy draft is very much on the table. Here's Bowman cruising through the centre of Alberton Oval. Kick might have a bit too much juice on it. It's a terrific defensive mark in the end. Really good stuff from Hoffman. Of course, he's tied to that St Kilda Academy. Now Ashcroft. Disposal number 32 coming up for Levi. It's going to be a big win for Vic Metro. So they stay undefeated. And of course, that clash against Vic Country could well decide everything. Vic Country to play the Allies next week, but it could all come down to that in a couple of weeks' time, Benny.
It's exciting. That'll be on Fox Footy in a couple of weeks as well. Vic Country and Vic Metro. Country, who beat Western Australia yesterday, they'll play the Allies next week. So we could have 2 teams, 3 in zip heading into that last game, although the Allies might have something to say about that. They're chock full of talent. Ball goes short here towards Draper. Spills though to Ashcroft. Maybe one final chance here for Vic Metro. McKenzie runs out of time. There's Vic Metro hold on for a big, big win here at Alberton Oval. A 52-point victory for Vic Metro, and they are 3 in zip in the National Under-18 Championship. South Australia's campaign concludes, but ample talent on display, including that man on screen, Ben Camporeale, one to get excited about for Carlton fans. On behalf of Megan Waters, Kevin Sheen and Joel Peterson, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from Alberton Oval.